Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Today we are back on the Brighton branch and we are operating the Canadian National and the Union Pacific Interchange. This train runs from Brighton Yard over to a location that's more or less kind of unnamed, but it's just past the co-op and it's before you get to Hartley, which if you've seen our last video from the Brighton branch, the Hartley local was the one that we finished up in the last video. But today we're going to run the Interchange Train to there's a couple of sidings before you get to Hartley. We're going to run there. We have some cars to drop off, some cars to pick up, and then this train comes back. This is a very easy train to run. When we do multiplayer sessions, this is definitely a train I would give to either a new operator or someone who's not familiar with the route. Nice and easy. We start off by looking in Brighton Yard, and here we are pulling our cut of cars for the train. Fortunately for us, I hope it works this way every time, but we essentially just pulled the first 10 cars out of the yard. Ideally, it would be that way every time because you're just, grabbing 10 cars, putting it on a train, and shipping it over. But it's not always that perfect. It was this time, though, which was fantastic. And now we're pulling out our road power, taking number 92 again. You could probably go back in my videos and get an idea of which locomotive I like to use the most, and it's probably number 92. Well, now we're departing Brighton Yard, and we are heading over. First up is Templeton. We don't have any work in Templeton, but we are going to pass through. And then we'll get past the co-op, which we've had a video on before. And then we'll cross over the UP main and then into the area where we do the interchange. Here we are coming through Templeton at a good pace. And now we're leaving Templeton, still at a good pace. By the way, for those interested, I do plan on having a multiplayer session on this route. Since I have Trainz 2019, if you wanted to participate in that, you would have to actually get Trainz 2019. But the nice thing about it is, if for whatever reason you're not able to or you don't want to, I am going to attempt, at least, to do a live stream of that session. And I'm going to have to do kind of a couple of tests beforehand, kind of make sure audio and everything works. Make sure that the multiplayer session itself will actually work. But here in a couple weeks, I'm hoping to get some people together and try to have some multiplayer. So I think that'll be fun to see how it can work in Trainz if it works. It has before, but it's been a while. So we're going to find out. Alright, now here we are at the area where we do the interchange. So there are two sidings. Basically the way this works is typically you come in and you put your caboose on the end of the cut you're picking up. And then you would shove your cut on the open track. And then you would go grab the cars you're picking up and you'd push back and turn around and pull them back with you all the way to Brighton. Today, though, however, we're not grabbing that whole cut of cars back there. We're only grabbing a few, so we're going to have to make some changes in the way we operate today. And even though it's not typical for that to happen, it does occasionally happen. So here we are, first putting our caboose on the back of the cut that we're going to pick up. And then we're just going to shove forward just a little bit to make sure that we're clear of the next track. And now we're making our move to go ahead and put all 10 of these cars onto the open track. Typically, we would go ahead and shove all the way through. We would, in the process, be running around the cut over here to the right, and then we would just push the cut on the right out onto the main while dropping this one off in its place. But like I said, today we have to do things a little bit differently, so here in a second I'll talk more about that. Alright, well, one of the first changes is we're going to have to actually pull that caboose off now. And we're going to go ahead and put the caboose out on the main. And then we're going to go grab the 3 cars that we need to set out or take with us. And we're going to go pick those up off the track now. One of the ways that this differs from normal is that now we're going to end up shoving our train back all the way to Brighton. And so that's why we're going to go ahead and leave the caboose out on the main. We have this reefer to grab, and then we have 2 boxcars, both of the New Haven. So we're going to go ahead and fish those 2 cars out and put the rest of these cars back for next time. And just to explain for a second, the reason that JMRI decided when building this train not to grab all of the cars is most likely because in Brighton Yard there probably is not enough space to take all 10 of these cars currently. There are quite a few places that these cars could go in Brighton Yard, but Brighton Yard is currently pretty full because we've run a bunch of locals, but we haven't run any of the relays yet, because the relays are kind of what empties out Brighton Yard a little bit for us. So it's because of that is my best guess as to why we're only picking up 3 instead of all 10 of these cars here. But as you can see, we're putting the other cars back, and then we're going to go ahead and reconnect, and then we're going to actually have to shove all the way just like we are. This is not typical. It makes us take a little bit longer than usual, but it'll still be kind of nice. So we'll keep the speed a little bit slow on the way back to Brighton. All in all, today, running this train took me about 35 minutes, so it's really not too bad. This was a really, really short run. Well, I wanted to take the opportunity to kind of feature some views from the Caboose. So if you click on the Caboose and go to cab mode, some Cabooses in the game, or Caboose, however you say it, some of them don't have that feature. But this one does, and it's kind of nice. Just as if you're the conductor or rear end brakeman, just kind of tagging along for the ride. Too bad I can't actually put a person on the platform here. If so, I would have him wave to the people on the platform here at Templeton as we come by, but Trainz doesn't really give us that functionality, and that's okay. Here's a good shot so you can kind of get an idea for how fast we are not going. So since we're shoving, we do move a little bit slower. It's not one of those rules that's so sticky that if a person didn't do that, it wouldn't make me upset. I'm not like that. But when I'm doing it by myself and playing solo, I definitely try to be a stickler for some rules. Not all of them, but for some of them. There's not too much left for us to do here. I'm going to go ahead and cut the video after we drop the train off. We're not going to show the breaking down of the switching. And that's mostly just because it's only 3 cars. There's just not a whole lot of switching that's going to happen. But thank you guys for joining today. Thank you for tuning into the channel and catching another video on the Brighton branch. Please stay tuned for more goodies coming up. And as always, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Help someone else subscribe. Help someone else like it. But just once again, thank you all for being a part of the channel and motivating me to make more videos. So we'll catch you guys next time. Have a great one. Thanks again.